All Indiana Politics is your premier source for Indiana politics, focusing on issues that matter to you.
I still want us to be the best in the Midwest.
We can't afford another lockdown.
Give the citizens of this country the relief they need.
Education in the state of Indiana remains priority number one.
In-depth, nonpartisan coverage.
We don't know exactly where the economy will be in January.
People are worried with good reason.
Exclusive interviews with Indiana's political leaders.
We have the resources here in the state of Indiana to care for those who are in need.
Expert analysis on critical legislation.
We need to reform those laws.
This recovery is going to take some time.
We've got to anticipate that there'll be a budget shortfall.
From Wish TV, this is All Indiana Politics Podcast on the All Indiana Podcast Network.
I'm Garrett Bergquist, government reporter for Wish TV and the producer of All Indiana Politics. Todd Rokita, a Republican, is running for a second term as Attorney General. He faces a challenge from Democrat Destiny Wells. This is the only statewide election this year without a third-party candidate. It's also the only statewide race with an incumbent candidate. The Attorney General represents the state in legal matters and provides consumer protection services. Rokita has gotten the state involved in numerous lawsuits against the Biden administration over matters ranging from the border to vaccine mandates. I talked to him about his decision to get involved in those cases and his plans for a second term if elected. And with us now is Todd Rokita, who's running for a second term as Attorney General. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Great to be here.
So why are you running for another term?
Listen, I love this state. I love the people of this state. I want to fight for the people. You know, everyone from my wife to my family to my supporters generally to the people of Indiana knows that I'm a fighter, and I fight for them. We got a lot of work that we started, a lot of work that we want to finish, and so that's why I'm not running for any other office or anything else. I want to continue to be your Attorney General because I want to continue doing the job.
Housing's become a major issue in this election. You've taken legal action against a number of landlords over their treatment of tenants. Does Indiana need more tenant protections?
Well, I'll let the General Assembly decide that. They're the lawmakers, and what I do is I enforce the law. And yeah, it's true, we have a limited enforcement authority here, but we've made the most of it. You've seen us do more than just about any other Attorney General out there. And that's because I feel that once you pay your rent, or in a lot of cases, like it or not, once the taxpayers pay the rent for somebody, that renter or the taxpayer deserves the service. And so it's wrong. It's simply wrong for a landlord to not run water, to not have heat, to have infestations of mice and other rodents. That's wrong after the rent's been paid.
Would you lobby the General Assembly to tighten up those laws?
I'll tell you what. I think there's some common sense things that we can be doing in the 21st century with it, and I've already expressed that to the lawmakers, and we'll see if they take it up, and they're my clients too, so I want to give them the space they need to tackle a lot of problems that we have, this being one of them. Meantime, whether they pass a law or not, I'm going to enforce the law on the books, and you've seen what we've been able to do.
You've already been cited by the Indiana Disciplinary Commission over your comments regarding Dr. Caitlin Bernard. Why should voters give another term to someone who could face disbarment if there's another issue?
Oh my word! I can't imagine that would ever be the case. But it is true. The process has been weaponized. The Democrats are making a mockery out of the Indiana Supreme Court, and that's why any further investigations need to be dismissed. Now, it's true. I was prematurely made some comments, and I agreed. I did. I could always do better. But that hardly means disbarment for anything. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Why have you devoted so many of your office's resources to national level issues such as immigration, border security, abortion, LGBTQ issues? Why not instead focus on matters closer to home such as housing or consumer protection?
Well, I have focused on housing and consumer protection, and unlike my opponent, I can walk and chew gum at the same time, and it's needed now more than ever. Bad ideas, whether they come from California, Washington, D.C., or anywhere in between, still badly affect Hoosiers. And we have to protect Hoosiers against them. And that's what we're doing. When you join with 20-some other states, like we do a lot of times, and combine our resources so we can fight this federal government that has grown way out of hand, way too large, filled with people who are not elected by anybody. We keep them accountable. Other states, when they even pass their laws, has an effect on Hoosiers if that state's big enough, like a California, like a New York. We keep those bad ideas from harming Hoosiers. And again, it's part of the work that I love to do and love to fight for Hoosiers on.
Would you file lawsuits against a President Kamala Harris if she wins and pursues policies you disagree with?
Well, if they're illegal, if they encroach on Indiana's sovereignty, and that's what Kamala Harris has done to date. It is the Kamala Harris administration, right? And we've been suing them for 4 years. So if she was to win, I hope she doesn't. I don't expect her to. I expect to be working with President Trump. But if she does win, and she already said she has no problem with what her administration has done to date, or more particularly what it hasn't done to date. Like, look at this open border. Look at the fentanyl increase in Indiana. Look at the crime increase in Indiana. Look at the sex trafficking increase in Indiana. The open border is literally killing Hoosiers, and she's not going to do anything about it. She hasn't done anything about it. Just like my opponent, Destiny Wells, who's nothing more than a soldier who takes orders from the Kamala Harris campaign, who takes orders from Kamala Harris. She's a foot soldier in that movement. And just like Kamala Harris, she's saying one thing, but if she got in office, she'd do a complete about face. And it'd be terrible for this country, it'd be terrible for this state.
Is it the job of the state attorney general to sue the President of the United States over policies you disagree with?
Yeah, of course it is, especially when it erodes state sovereignty. Under our Constitution, the state, and that's my client, the state, I do what's in the best interest of the state, and when they're acting unconstitutionally, or when their actions are unconstitutional to a wide number of Hoosiers, like we found when we fought against them on the vaccine mandate. Remember that? They were going to use the authority of the federal government to mandate every Hoosier and every American be vaccinated, whether or not, but with an experimental drug, whether that Hoosier wanted to or not. And we fought against that, and we won because it was unconstitutional. So there are all kinds of things an administration can do, and then this one has done, that are unconstitutional, that affects our sovereignty, that hurts the people of this state. So you bet I'm going to continue to fight against it.
3 of the 4 states surrounding Indiana have enacted some pretty strong protections for abortion services. Would you prosecute someone for assisting someone else in going to one of those states for an abortion?
You know, what I do as Attorney General is defend state law. I enforce state law, and there's nothing in Indiana state law that goes to your question. There's no enforcement action for that in Indiana state law, so the answer is absolutely not. We have to love them both. We have to be compassionate about what we're doing, and Indiana's pro-life law is compassionate. It respects the mother. It respects the unborn child. Maybe we have to work more on respecting the father. There are other laws that do that. But there's nothing in our law that punishes the mother or prosecutes the mother. And so by extension, there wouldn't be anything there's nothing in the law that I see that would prosecute someone for helping a mother. We want to help mothers.
You've sought execution dates for 2 men who are on death row and have exhausted their appeals. There are 2 more who have also exhausted their appeals. Would you seek execution dates for them as well?
I can't discuss that matter publicly, but here's what I can say. You correctly and accurately recited the actions we've taken to date. I believe in applying justice equally to everyone. So, stay tuned on that. But the fact of the matter is, this state has not carried out justice for the victims of these terrible, sick crimes for over 20 years. And I'm the first Attorney General to do so. I'm the first Attorney General in over 2 decades to carry out 1.5 decades, whatever the time period is, for years. First Attorney General to carry out the ultimate justice. It's a big decision. It's a heavy hand, but it has to be carried out. It has to be carried out equally. Those victims deserve justice.
Why seek those execution dates now, at this time of year, this close to an election?
Oh, I don't think it has anything to do with the election. It could have been last year. It could have been next year. It was a matter of acquiring the drug that will allow us to carry out the execution.
What's one thing you were not able to accomplish during your first term that you would like to do during a second term if you're reelected?
Yeah, I'll tell you, there's a big problem still with illegal aliens in this state. And I've done a lot of work changing the policies of sanctuary cities under a new statute that was given to me to work with, and I'm thankful that we have the cooperation of many mayors and police chiefs who've adjusted their ways to taken down their ordinances. But we still have, regardless of sanctuary city status, we do have a lot of illegal aliens in Indiana. They're depleting our resources, they're increasing crime, they're bringing fentanyl, children, girls, boys being sex trafficked more than we've ever seen before. And I'm going to be looking for ways to get them out of Indiana, and by definition, get them out of send them back home, because that's where they belong. We have a lot of cleanup to do after the lawlessness of the Biden and Harris administration, lawlessness at the border. And so I'm going to be looking for ways so that we can not only have our country back, but so we can have our state back.
What makes you the best choice in this race?
The experience. I've been practicing law for 30 years. 30 years without complaint. Not until this abortion issue and the politicization, weaponization of the process has there been a complaint. I like to practice the law. I have the experience to do it, and I have the fight in me. People are looking, Hoosiers are looking for someone to protect them, someone who fight for them, someone who understands their frustration. I understand it. I want this state back the way it should be. Common sense. We used to pride ourselves on common sense, and I bring that to the table.
Todd Rokita, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
That was Todd Rokita, Republican candidate for Attorney General. Remember, you can catch All Indiana Politics every Sunday morning at 9:30, only on Wish TV. I'm Garrett Bergquist. Thanks for listening.
From Wish TV, this is All Indiana Politics Podcast on the All Indiana Podcast Network. Watch All Indiana Politics live Sunday mornings at 9:30 on Wish TV and at wishtv.com. Subscribe to this podcast and listen weekly here on the All Indiana Podcast Network. And be sure to discover even more great podcasts at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.